Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker. This is Wargame AirLand Battle, and I have an very odd match today. First we have FR-Niwo. He's been on the channel, he's been doing a lot of cool firebombing stuff, and we'll see what he has that is brand new. Looks like something different so far with these Leopard 1A, 1NO type things, and 3 commands. And we also have 2 people playing against him. Mr. Jimmy Clover and his partner CTS with the stars. So it is a 2v1, which is again very odd. And it's odd because if you look at the right hand side of the screen here, the game only goes to 500 points. So somebody would have created a very odd lobby in which they would hope that something bad would happen to somebody. Now both sides are seemingly playing pretty normal. We have 3 commands out here for FR-Niwo, and we're going to see 3 commands total for this side, I believe, as well. Now, the downside to being on the 2 is that you will be getting less points per person. So, overwhelmingly, you will have to make better use of your units and, share supplies and all this sorts of stuff. Whereas Niwo will be getting 1 bulk amount. The plus side is that you guys can focus more on micro, good old tank micro. The downside is that you won't have enough units most time for some big attacks. And here we go. Niwo already doing something very interesting. Has these big freedom fighters, 4 of them coming out. And like I said, this is a 2v1, so he does get a significant advantage. And he's throwing out 4 of them, splitting them up, and he's going to attack 2 different locations, it seems. And here they go. What will they get? Looks like they're going for some helicopters, interestingly enough. And all 4 of the freedom fighters do, in fact, go down. Once again, I believe the scoreboard's a bit warped here. Just because, those freedom fighters did not count. By the way, good time to mention, I'm actually doing a tutorial video this week to be released tomorrow, Saturday. I'm in the process of making it, and it's actually on FR-Niwo's this opening here. And the video is called something along the lines of "Why Air Superiority Openers Suck." That would be the general premise of what it is, why they are bad. And it is definitely an interesting piece to listen to. Once again, as I said, when I first started doing the series, I would open up with simple stuff and then move into more complicated. This would be something that's more complicated, something more current. So there is an OSA here, but it's just not firing. It's kind of actually just moving. And he's turned it around. No reverse command here. Might actually just lose them. And we also have a little skirmish happening over here as well. Niwo, having lost significant amounts of air superiority fighters, is now getting down position, and ha 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 ha. This, my friends, this is actually not a standard match. This is Conquest. Conquest, people. I just don't see reticles. I don't think the replays actually have reticles. And so far, advantage. I can't do it. Advantage currently going off to CTS and Jimmy Clover, who are in a great position. FR-Niwo, on the other hand, is not getting the position he needs. He is in the top position, but he isn't gaining points for some reason. Or maybe it's just still a bug scoreboard. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. But Niwo does have a large cluster of the Leopard 1A, 1NO tanks. Note, he has a pretty good split up here, using them effectively to create a great concave. He's got some toes here, where this flank here getting picked off by the T-64s in the distance. We see more of these tow vehicles just targeting down the T-64s. Remember, T-64s have really poor armor compared to T-80s and whatever heavy tanks. They're just actually long-range bombers, and they die very easily. All the while, this leopard flank is coming forward again. Just love the use of the tanks here, and I'm still in awe of the scoreboard. It just seems odd to me. Maybe all will be revealed later. But all the while, like these tow rockets, these NM rack PVs, are just making some pretty good headway. I'm thinking this might be like, you know, a specific country deck, like Sweden. This could be a Swedish deck he's playing with. This could be him playing in Sweden. Now here's a T80, and this is exactly the guys who you want taking damage. They do tank a lot. And here comes the T64 rolling around, going for the flank here. Going to get some good old side armor shots. And remember, when you're taking shots, you look at the armor of any tank. And it's the picture there. There's different numbers for different sides. And side armor and back armor are always weaker. So it looks like we're going to see an empty vehicle die to a T64. Tragic loss. And looks like we have a mortar out, as well as another freedom fighter. I'll be talking about this in the tutorial video. Very much worth talking about when planning builds. And looks like we see some tanks in the woods. Or as Samuel Jackson would say, tanks in the motherfucking woods. Because that's what he's doing. And just trying to get a position on Tunguska. And trying desperately to dodge these VDV and Motostrelsi squads. All the while, it just really seems like he's getting dominated. However, here comes a command vehicle. And it's a Swedish command vehicle. Coincidence? I'm sure you're going to feel silly after this when I go like, oh, that's not the Swedish flag, that's the Danish flag. It's going to be something like that. I know it. It always happens to me. It could be the Danish flag, actually. I don't know. But that doesn't matter too much. What does matter is there's a really odd position here for an FR-Niwo. He's lost on a lot of flanks, and all the same, he's decided to rally another command and grab this Delta base. So he's going to play very macro heavy. He has an 8-point base at Hotel, 3-point base at Golf, 3-point base at Foxtrot, and now he's going to grab these 2-point base at Delta. It's 2 points. 2 points, people. He's a madman. And loving on these freedom fighters, hardcore, just going to pull them out for a little bit of air supremacy action, trying to get some quick shots off on these helicopters before evacing, no doubt. And no shots. It actually is landed. That's not good. And one stunned, one down. That is not good. Not good at all for FR-Niwo. He's lost 2 vehicles now. And keep in mind, another serious disadvantage for FR-Niwo is that he only has 1 deck. 1 deck's worth of units. He can run out. His opponents, however, have 2 decks. So they will literally, at the end of the match, have more units. Because once FR-Niwo runs out, that's it. That is it. And he's using a Swedish deck, so he does get some extra units. Once again, it could be Danish, I don't know. But not that many. Now we do have a command coming in here, and there's a Conquest in place just firing like a madman at any kind of vehicles they can pick off. And will the CTS and Jimmy Clover tag team get the kills? That's the question. We have some mortar fire hitting here, and there's not the right vehicle. So he should be able to get his command in here pretty safely, actually. And completely survive that attack. Here's the madness. This is a 3-point base. That's a reinforcement point. That's crazy. Both players very wisely have infantry in the woods, blocking for infantry coming this direction. One thing I always recommend to people is stage at least 1 anti-tank weapon right here, because if there is a tank that comes up this hill through this corridor, or through this one, this AT can smack them pretty good. Anyway, realistically, neither player's doing this either. We have Motostrelkis here, but once again, if there's an AT, just 1 10-point ITO or something like that, just right here, could do some pretty silly damage. So we have a command from CTS for attack! CTS is attack! And he wants to get this FR-Niwo mortar down. 3 mortars. Very devastating unit type. Very, very cost-effective artillery unit. And currently, FR-Niwo is gaining points. Maybe this is a base type thing. You have to hold bases. That's what this mode could be. A conquest where you have to hold bases, and that's it. And both players are kind of just sitting down their positions, and this could be a long one, because if my interpretation of this is correct and you have to hold bases to win, that means that FR-Niwo will have to break this position in order to win. Alternatively, in a riskier move, he could fly in a helicopter command with some helicopter infantry, helicopter AT, helicopter A. Land it right here. Take it at this point, this 8-point. And then he will be gaining massive amounts of points. That's if he wants to do it. Keep in mind, he is playing pretty risky himself. He does have only one command here, no armor, and no real reinforcements. He is covering his flanks, that's one thing he's doing, but he's playing quite risky. I mean, yeah, he does have a lot of vision, but there's one place he doesn't, and that's this big riverfront area, so he can still get attacked. He does have the air superiority fighters, so he'll be able to shoot down most things. But he does, like I said, he does have units in position for that. There's UH-1B here, 2 UH-1Bs there, so he has that covered. Now, why he's not shooting these down with air superiority fighters? Simple answer, Tunguskas. Tunguskas are in position to actually clear these. Every time he will come up and try and shoot that, he'll actually get sauced off pretty good. So there is one Marine Jager in here. I missed how this got in here, but it will get cleaned up pretty easily by T-64 VIs. Doing a little bit of that reverse shimmy when it doesn't matter the most. And completely ignoring this single tank destroyer sitting in the middle in the open. Oh, here comes... no. Looks like that's just mortar fire. So, yeah, just completely ignore that. Does he know it's there? Is that how this is? No, he knows it's there. He's just choosing not to engage it. Is it giving FR-Niwo vision? Not really. It's not that threatening. So we have a defense. Oh, it's finally been noticed. Oh, look, there is a tank destroyer just sitting here. If only somebody had a helicopter in the region that could deal with that. Or a T-64 BVI. Either one. So stun has taken effect. Unit is killed. And right now, serious advantage, in fact, going off to Team CTS, Jimmy Clover. Clover, he's Lucky Clover. Team Lucky Clover are currently in the lead by 20 points. And they have more units overall. And they seemingly have a better position overall. Now look at this. Look at this great move here. Some anti-tank type weaponry in the woods to hit this open field in case any moves near. He's actually gone for the Leopard, which is an interesting choice because it's a tank. So that tank destroyer cleaned up completely. Looks like we're going to switch over into the mid-game, so we'll just speed past this boring stuff. Just take note of what they're bringing in. We got AT, and looks like, in fact, Jimmy Clover and CTS will be going for a very defensive play. Got some starfighters coming in here to drop some bombs, random bombs. Look like none got destroyed, and SU-24P going to try and nick off this helicopter unsuccessfully. Okay, whoa! Troublemaker, what are you missing here? We have an attack of the UH-1Bs. They're going to be dropping infantrymen like a mad person via the "we're going to crash into your building" method, which is exactly what he's going for here. He's actually surrounded his Motostrelki squad. He's captured these U-Rolls, and he's completely swamped this area in probably one of the ballsiest plays I've seen yet. You don't do this. You don't run helicopters into this area. But looks like Team Lucky Clover have been caught with their pants down. They have no AA in the area to deal with this. And now the power combination here of the UH-1B with their air superiority and the infantry squads, which of course are tanky as all hell, are in a great position. There is a mass rally of units. We have lots of air superiority or autocannon type anti-air units. We have the BMP-T being rallied out and lots of infantry. And this was just really ballsy. I would be interested to see the total scoreboard for how this actually works out in terms of points. It looks like it's pretty damn good, though. We have some tank destroyers as well coming up, cleaning out these ZSU-23 for Afghanskis autocannon fires. And just a lot of vehicles overwhelmingly are going to get cleaned out here. And this location is really hard fought. All the while, starfighters just coming in like crazy, just trying to drop bombs. A lot of them getting killed off very sloppy by FR-Niwo, not the FR-Niwo we're used to. And he's just dropping bombs anywhere he can in hopes of cleaning this position. He did in fact get the command, though. He got the command, people, and now he is at +2. Yes, it is Conquest. The current trend, put that in parentheses, the trend currently is that FR-Niwo is getting +2. I assume it's per 3 seconds. I assume that's how it works out. And now suddenly things have shifted. He has sacrificed a large number of air units. He sacrificed a large number of air units to kill a command, and he was just carpet bombing this area, just picking left and right. And now Team Lucky Clover not so lucky anymore. They're in hard position. They're finally clearing this position and have actually done a pretty good job at that, not losing too many units. They lost a squad of ZSU-23 for Afghanskis, but that's it. And they're relatively cheap units, 20 points each, so about 80 points worth of units lost. They're not too taxing. And the IHawk prototype shooting super long range at the air units. There is another command coming in, by the way. They're going to refill this location immediately, or as they say in French, immediately. I'm sorry, I'm just really bad at French accents today. Actual French people are probably offended and probably unsubscribing as we speak. Luckily, my Swedish or Danish fans, hopefully Swedish fans, because hopefully this is a Swedish deck and not a Danish deck, are like, I'm gonna recommend you to all my friends, Hans and Goebbels, and you know what? He did it. He actually dropped a helicopter command here, and he's gonna go in with 8 Gervail men to try and kill off the command. Now, here's a funny thing. It's a really funny meta effect game. There's an infantry right here. There's a command right here. He's going straight for the command. Now you might first think, cheetah! But no. It's not a cheater situation. He actually knows the command's here, because this is where he would place the command. Pretty simple. He does run into the infantry. Kind of unfortunate. He does have a second infantry here watching for reinforcements. It's not a pointless type infantry. Here comes an SU-24 bomber, however, with some pretty high ordnance here. 250 kilogram bombs. And looks like the Gervayman killed the command. Wow. They were actually moving away ever so slowly from the Motostroki, and they take that command out. So once again, we have a huge advantage for FR-Niwo, now plus 5ing it up. The ultimate in the ballers, and another command has to be forced out from Lucky Clover. They might not even have one available. They're losing commands left and right. Well, like, of course they have a command available. It's just a matter of who has the money to afford one. Really. And now, Golf actually also taken out here. Missed that completely. Lucky Clover not just down and out yet. Probably was carpet bombing the hell out of that position. Or maybe this Radzvensky took care of that. But now comes a flock of starfighters. Just a lot of starfighters. Lots of 40, 50 kilogram bombs. Just bombing every location they can. Mix in some freedom fighters for the stun effect. These are not the normal units you do the bombings with. That's just kind of how it ended up in this particular matchup. So, I like to say it's anyone's game, but I mean, realistically, it's going to be very hard for Lucky Clover to come back. Because these bombings by FR-Niwo have just been absolutely fantastic. There's now 2 zones that Lucky Clover have to retake in order to gain the victory. All the while we have a small push up here by FR-Niwo, clearing out this wood location with a Leopard 1A1 and 0, and some more of these Gervais Menis and Starmers. So, interesting cultural fact about countries like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Iceland, your Scandinavian countries, also Germany, I believe. One of the biggest threats in the world is cultural takeover. It's not just something that happens in civilization, it's actually a real thing. So what happens is, when you have one culture that's really powerful, let's say English culture, everyone has names like John, Peter, Mark, which actually were Roman names because of Roman cultural domination. And so in order to protect themselves from cultural domination, countries like Germany, and Norway, and Sweden, and Iceland actually have naming laws in which your child has to be named named a name appropriate for the culture of the country, and the name has to be appropriate for the gender. So there are no female Hans in any Nordic country at all. There are no male Gretos in any of these countries. And that's why when you go to countries like Germany and Iceland, nobody's named Peter or John or Greg. Well, not nobody, but very few. Most people go through the culturally acceptable names just because it's law. Speaking of which, the match is actually going to end any second now. FR-Niwo has cleared out another 2 commands. He has another set of bombers coming in, just being relentless. Since it's not points, he can be relentless, which he has been. So looking at the overall kill screen, we can see that there's a huge advantage for Clover and CTS. Sum total 3,500 points worth of kills. 1,600 points worth of losses. Actually, 1,755. So overall, FR-Niwo has lost way more. However, his strategy of just constant bombardment, sacrificing aircraft to kill commands, is what won him this Conquest match. A lot of people were asking for this mode. New gen systems delivered, and this is why. It's not a points rush, it's a position rush. FR-Niwo showing what will be our first of Conquest strategies, that is, bombing the hell out of your opponent. And it works. My name is Troublemaker. I have one more match. I think it's going to be a tag team match, and that's coming up. Thank you guys for watching.